Hey there, I'm Gina Malin, Executive Director of the Parents League of New York, a nonprofit organization that's been around for over 100 years supporting families and schools. And I'm here today, so happy and thrilled to be with Natalie Alterman, a early childhood expert, and also currently finishing up her third master's degree, and this one is focused on, and Natalie, you'll correct me, educational leadership, politics, and advocacy.
You got it.
Great. And Natalie is also, she's the former director of Reed Street Prep, which is a Tribeca preschool. And so while Natalie is finishing up this third degree, she is also managing a very active toddler, or in Natalie's own words, a very, very active toddler. So Natalie not only brings an educator's perspective, and a professional, an early childhood expert perspective, but also now she brings a new mother's perspective to early childhood development. So I'm so happy that you're here with us today. And Natalie and I can, and I will be honest with you, we can talk forever about early childhood development, preschools, and our love for this topic. But today we're just going to focus on one question, a burning question that many parents have, which is understandable, is when should my child start preschool? What age should my child start preschool? So Natalie, can you give us some advice about that?
Thank you so much for that introduction, Gina. Thanks for having me. Lovely as always to talk about one of our favorite topics. You know, especially from the perspective of a new mother, we are so starved for quantitative data, right? We want these milestones, these guidelines that dictate, is my child developing appropriately, or is there something I should be concerned about, whether it's a red flag or a pink flag? And it would be nice, simple, if everything was that straightforward and that easy. It's a more complicated answer than that, which is there is no right age to start preschool. There's no right age for any given child, and there's also no right age for any family, because it's important to consider each child as not just an independent child, but also as a member of a family. So it's not going to be a simple yes or no. 2, 3, 4 years old. There is going to be quite a bit of variety in the answer to the question.
And so are there lots of programs out there for families? Say, for instance, if they want to start at 18 months, or if they are considering a daycare, or can they start at 3 or 4?
Yeah, absolutely. So, especially in New York City, there is a wide variety of programming available for all types of children, all types of families, all types of needs. I would say that the youngest possible option is going to be a daycare. Daycares might start working with children as young as 3 months. And a daycare is going to be it's a drop-off situation, so it affords parents a lot of flexibility in terms of going back to work, continuing work, maintaining a bit of sanity as they maintain distance from their children. Daycares are going to typically be open rather year-round. They open a little earlier in the day, close a little later in the day. There's quite a bit of correspondence between the daycare facility and the parents on a daily basis. Depending on where you're located, it might be a simple sign-up process. There might be a short wait list associated with the program. It varies. When you move past daycare, you're moving into this universe of classes, preschool alternatives, and preschools themselves. And the age range, broadly speaking, is going to be about 6 months for your earliest classes, all the way up through pre-K, the year immediately preceding kindergarten, which is going to be 4 years old. what you're looking for depends on what your child is ready for, developmentally speaking. It depends on what a family is ready for, emotionally speaking, especially when you move into preschool alternatives and preschools. Then you're looking at a separation that's, it can be a bit of an emotional hurdle for some parents. And it's important to walk that fine line between making sure you're working within your own comfort zone and also pushing yourself a little bit, as we all have to do as parents as we move from milestone to milestone. There's also, of course, considerations like finances, and especially in a city like New York, there's considerations like the logistics that come along with geography. The good news is there's going to be many, many, many programs from which to choose. It's about how we make those choices.
Yes, so there are a lot of factors to consider, but at the same time, like you said, there are so many options in New York City.
Yeah.
So Natalie will be presenting on this topic. So if you want to learn more and have the opportunity to ask her more questions directly, she will be presenting a webinar titled What to Do Before Two, Treasuring Toddlerhood, on May 11th. So if you're interested in joining her and talking to her directly, check out the webinar and register at parentsleague.org. And also, we will be hosting a preschool fair beginning next week, for the entire week, where there will be over 100 preschools presenting. So I also encourage parents out there of very young to check out the fair. It's free and open to the public. So Natalie, I think our time is up. Like I said, I would love to talk to you more, but we'll see you soon at What to Do Before Two. So
Looking
thank
forward.
you all again for joining us today.
Thanks, Gina.